Hi everybody, this is Willie at newandlostcrafts.com, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make actually 2 loaves of beautiful white bread that works great for sandwiches and a lot of different purposes. I've learned a lot in making my own bread over the years, and so there's a few tricks in here that I think if you're a beginner it'll really help you out. First step is starting your yeast. So we're going really from scratch here. All I have in this small bowl is 2 cups of warm water. That's all that is. And then we are going to do 2/3 of a cup of just regular old sugar. Alright. And the warm water is so that sugar dissolves fairly quick. And we want to get the yeast started here. So I guess I should point this out. So I typically buy large packages of yeast, and you can see the packets in there. Those are oxygen absorbers. So I've had trouble in the past of my yeast kind of not working as well anymore. This works great if you use a ball jar. Buy the large package of yeast. As long as you have enough oxygen absorbers in there, don't keep it open for too long. This stuff will last for a very long time. So just wanted to point that out. But we are going for 1.5 tablespoons of active dry yeast. So 1 and a half. And if you've been watching my videos for very long at all, you know I don't get all that worked up over measurements, but I've been doing this for a long time too. So, and to that we're going to stir it up just a little bit, mostly get the sugar dissolved and the yeast pushed around. And then we're going to let it sit for a little bit, let that yeast start doing its job. And I'll show you what that looks like. We'll pause the camera, we'll come back. But okay everybody, we're back. The yeast has proofed at this point, so the foamy layer is what you're looking for. And let's see, where I'm at, that took about 20 minutes. So it's important to be patient with this step. Get all that nice yeast dissolved. Let it start doing its thing with that sugar that you fed it, because it just makes it ready to go when you start adding the flour and all the leavening stuff. Alright, so next things that we need to do is add a little bit of salt. What we're going to do is do 1.5 teaspoons. Okay, and then we're going to add some oil. I already measured this out, so 1/4 cup of your favorite vegetable oil. We use a mixture of canola, olive, and grapeseed. We get it from Costco. Really tastes good, seems to do well, pretty versatile. Okay, we're going to stir that up a little bit. Now we're going to start adding flour, and this recipe is going to be 6 cups of flour. And I always use just regular white flour. Have not experimented much with wheat. I think if you did about 1/4 wheat and the majority of it white, you'd have good results. I'm not sure if you made it all with wheat what would happen. I'm just not a pro at that. I have this recipe and I stick with it. So the important thing with adding the flour is let's do it gradually, 1 cup at a time, and it just allows the stuff to mix out better. So I'm going to film all this, but you'll see me add 6 cups, but I'll probably make this section go pretty fast in the end. Okay, so here we are, just added number 6. And you can see it starts getting pretty floury. Gets pretty hard to stir in the bowl. And at this point what we're going to do is abandon the bowl for a few minutes. Get all your goodness off the spoon there. It usually works out that you have a little bit more flour than what you need. So go ahead and dump it out on your surface. And we're just going to knead this just with your hands. Get it initially unsticky. That means you squeeze into it. If you start feeling bits that are sticky, start rolling it around in that extra flour that poured out with it. Means you don't have quite enough yet. And really the kneading at this point is going to do 2 things for you. Get the dough unsticky and nice and mixed. And then you're going to start forming your gluten with that yeast. And what we're going to do, it's real easy. Just knead this, and we're going to stick it right back in that bowl. And then we're going to let it sit until it about doubles in size. And I'll time that for y'all. And then we'll be back. Still a little sticky here. Get it all nice and mixed up. And then we'll get this will make 2 full loaves. And after the initial rise, we'll let it rise again in those loaf pans. And then we'll bake them. So that's all there is to it. I'm going to stick this back in the bowl. And I'm going to cover it with this. I just have some wet paper towel. Any wet cloth would do here. You're basically just trying to keep the environment humid. Let the yeast do its thing. Alright, so our initial rise is done, or at least I'm calling it done. I let it go for about 45 minutes is what the clock's saying here. But all we're going to do is go ahead and dump this back out. The second rise for me is actually more important. So what we're going to do is beat this dough up. And if all of you out there are familiar with baking at all, this is called the punch down. And I kind of like it because you get to get a little physical. But really you want to break up those yeast bonds and literally just punch this rising dough down. I'm going to do this for a little bit. I'd like to get a little bit of flour down here. What I'm looking for in the end here is to get a smooth consistency in the dough. And you can see I'm starting to make it into a log shape. And that's good because it makes it way easier to judge where halfway is. So you can cut it. And just get yourself a nice knife and eyeball it. Okay. Then we have 2 pieces. Make those into semi-loaves. Okay, so there's our 2 loaves, and here's our loaf pans, and I've been using one of these olive oil misters. What we're going to do is oil the heck out of the inside of these. Doing good. Okay, so once you have oiled the 2 pans, you're going to put, a piece in each pan, obviously. Make sure you oil them really good with either that mister or the spray can you get from the supermarket or whatever. But make note of what this looks like right now. This is the most important section of rising that we're doing here. I think this is where a lot of people get it wrong, so I'm going to show you how to do it right. So watch the difference. It's been about 2 hours, and what I used to do is go, man, that's got to be ready, and pop it in. Don't do that. I mean, you'll end up with decent bread, but it's going to be crumbly and real thick. Be patient. It's going to rise. Here we are. I wanted to show you when I consider it's done. Ooh. Yeah, so when we're starting to overflow the pan, then we're good to go. Alright, so patience, patience, patience. This is where I'm at. Beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to bake it. It's going to do its own little thing. The one thing I will do in addition, you don't have to do this. I'm going to drag a thing across. And you'll see what that does after it's done. So let's put them in the oven. Yay! Oven is preheated at 350, and we're going to cook these for about 30 minutes, and that's when we'll come back. Alright, we have good beeping going on. Alright, we have 2 loaves of bread. You recenter this a little bit. Absolutely gorgeous. They're hotter than sin right now. Alright, so we have both these guys. They've cooled down, and so here we go. Alright. Again, sorry, that's absolutely beautiful.